Aí é só colocar o entendi aí pra gente poder começar. Alright, alright, alright. So let's get started. Get into level 5, live number 1. Talking about it, please, part 1. Responsibilities. Bom, quem aqui já fez o Eplis? Coloca para mim aqui um sim ou um não no chat. Yes or no? Have you already set Eplis? Yes, 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 yes. Mas, teacher, claro que sim, né? Não, gente, tem gente que vem da escola, tem um inglês bom, da turma A, da turma brava, vem para cá. Não fez o Eplis ainda. É verdade. Well, here, everybody has already set Eplis. Okay? Because you sit an exam, right? Oh, collocation. You sit an exam. Você faz um exame, pode ser take. Yes, mas pode ser o sit. Ah, Jéssica ainda não, tá vendo só? Falei? Ok, Jéssica. So, Eplis, 4 parts, ok? Vai ter uma live muito em breve tudo sobre Eplis. Eu vou explicar como é que funciona o Eplis, a parte 1, parte 2, parte 3, parte 4, né? Mas só para você poder ter uma ideia, são 4 partes. E a parte 1 é aquela parte que você mais consegue praticar e treinar em casa, porque não tem surpresa. A parte 1 vai ser o quê? 4 perguntinhas sobre presente, sobre a sua rotina no trabalho, vai falar sobre como você chegou até aqui, né? Passado, pode falar sobre planos do futuro, né? Para usar um pouquinho de futuro. E perguntinhas como supervisor, sobre emergências. Então, assim, a gente sabe como treinar para a parte 1, porque elas são muito previsíveis, né? Não quer dizer que você vai memorizar. Não quero ninguém memorizando nada aqui, não. Vocês vão aprender e vão usar de acordo com a necessidade de vocês. Então, a ideia é sempre essa, que vocês consigam usar de acordo com a vontade de vocês. Né? Vocês vão aprender tanta coisa. E na live, qual que é a grande vantagem da live? Né? Vocês conseguem aprender com um coleguinha. Por exemplo, a Raíza vai lá e usa uma coisa. Aí a Raíssa gosta e usa o que a Raíza usou. E aí a Jéssica também gosta e usa. E usando, experimentando, errando, acertando, vocês começam a aprender tanta coisa. Você vai dizer, caraca, nem sei mais de onde eu aprendi isso aqui. Não sei se foi com o Elmer, se foi com a Tiziane, se foi com a Jace, com quem que foi. E isso que é muito legal. As lives, elas deixam que vocês fiquem mais... vocês conseguem aprender com um colega. Vocês vão ver como tem muita coisa boa. E tem coisa que é assim, o coleguinha viu no curso, aprendeu e usou. Você viu e não lembrava. Mas quando o colega usa, você fala, nossa, é verdade, esqueci disso. Aí o que você faz? Também vai lá e usa. Então é uma maravilha. É muito, muito, muito bom. Ok? But now let's go back to English. Yeah? So live number 1, part 1. Part 1, talking about yourself. Today, we're going to focus on responsibilities. Yeah? So let's practice Eplis part 1. Well, before we actually go for the practice, I have 2 questions to ask you. First question, in what HTC facility do you work? Yeah? By the way, HTC facility, it's like Recife Center, Brasília Approach, Curitiba Center, okay? Guarulhos Tower, Academia Approach, né? Natal Tower e assim por diante. This is the facility. Facility is not facilidade. Facility is like órgão ATC, okay? It's a building. Facility is usually a building. É geralmente um prédio, okay? So, tell me in the chat the answer to this question. In what HTC facility do you work? Can you tell me in the chat now? Raíza works at Confins Tower. O que mais? Tuane, Brasília Center. Hello, Tuane, welcome back. I missed you. Brasília Center. Lívia, Academia Approach. Academia Control. Raíssa at São Gonçalo Tower. Mudou, querida. Olha só. Ok. Tiziana at Galeão Tower. São Gonçalo é Rio, não é? Me corrige, please. Jace at Amazônico Center. Tainara do Brasília Center. Ó, Brasília ganhando, hein? Não, Natal. Então você continua em Natal, então. Ok. É que as pessoas aqui que né, não vão para Natal faz tempo, né? Esquece. Então, São Gonçalo Tower é Natal. Very good. Pedro Floripa Tower. Good. Academia Approach, Felipe. Olha, a Academia Approach está sempre presente nas minhas aulas, hein? Eu acho que eu não dei uma live sem Academia Approach, sem Academia Tower aqui. Verdade. Jéssica is still studying Guaratinguetá. Ah, que fofa. Okay, very good. Very good. All right. So, guys, here we go. HC Facility. Só para vocês poderem conhecerem a gente aqui. And Ju, she works at the SEA. Okay, good, good, good. One more question. Também não é please ainda não, tá? But how long have you been controlling? How long have you been controlling? I'm using present perfect continuous because you started and you continue until now. So how long have you been controlling? Ó, aquela cobrinha. Yeah? Like I've been teaching for 22 years. Cara, eu dou aula desde que antes da Jéssica ter nascido. Okay, so I've been teaching for 22 years. How long have you been controlling? Let's see. 12 years, Raíza. Tainara, 4 years. Tuane, since 2011. Jace, for 5 years. Então, temos umas pessoas mais antigas. Temos aí uns 2S já por aí. 17 years, Ju. 10 years, Raíssa. 18 years, Felipe. Lembrei de você agora, Felipe Magalhães. Yeah. Okay, Lívia Souza, 14 years. Ticiane, 5 years and a half. You see? Então, o Felipe é pelo menos um S já então, né? 18 years. Né? Okay, First Sergeant. Yeah, First Sergeant. Good. You see? All right, guys. And now, one more question. Just to get started. Okay? Só para ver, just to check how happy you are. Would you like to work in another facility? You don't have to answer the why. Just yes or no. Why vai ser só no ao vivo. Oh my gosh, yes, yes, yes. One no. For sure. Não vou nem falar quem que é, tá? Só para vocês poderem responder aí à vontade. No. So most people would like to work in another facility. Volunteers, who would like to explain why? Pega o microfone aí, vamos lá. Volunteers. Ah, by the way, not now, maybe in the future, good. Para você poder levantar a mão para dúvidas, do lado do seu nome, tem ali o botão de levantar a mão. Você pode, para você se voluntariar ou para tirar dúvidas, ok? Para você não entrar assim no microfone no meio da aula, você só levanta a mãozinha, tum. Aí eu vou lá e falo, ok, Lívia, vamos lá, ok, Tiziane. All right? Lívia, my volunteer. Would you like to work in another facility and why? Tell me, Lívia.
Hi, everybody. Teacher, I already took this class on 2020. Ooh. I don't think you remember me, but I
think I do.
Yeah,
I mean, the name. Yeah, the name rings a bell.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because of that, I'm repeating the class.
Very good.
I'd like to work at São Paulo Approach Control or CGNA. I don't know how to say it.
Okay, we can say CGNA.
All name in English. Yes.
But why São Paulo Approach?
Yeah.
Are you crazy, girl?
No, I'm not. I really love to control. And I think that place will I will develop my experience.
Will develop, yeah.
Yes, I will develop my experience and know different things. I always worked at Academia Control, and I think I need to know some place.
Interesting. Very good answer. Very good answer. Okay, very good answer. Good job. You see? So, this is just to get started. But teacher, como é que eu faço para me voluntariar? Só levanta a mão, ok? Levanta a mãozinha, eu chamo você. Alright? So, como a Lívia fez aí de novo. Alright? So, and now, isso aqui não cai nem pressão, tá? Até agora. Agora essa aqui cai. This one is the please related. What are your responsibilities as a controller? A gente começou só com um warm-upzinho, vocês entrando no mood, né? To get in the mood. Okay, responsibilities. Yeah, there are many ways you can answer this question. This, you can be more simple, okay? Example. Listen and repeat. Todo mundo tá no mudo. para que vocês possam ouvir e repetir sem atropelar o coleguinha. Então todo mundo está no mudo de propósito, ok? Here we go. Every day, I talk to pilots in order to avoid conflicts. Repeat it. I give them traffic and weather information. I also have to tell them if there is something wrong on their route. If there is turbulence, for example, I have to change their flight level. Okay, so you see, this is an answer about responsibilities. Okay, yeah, but then if you analyze, say, okay, Elmer, what do I have here? Here I have like basic structures, yeah, like verb, simple present. I talk to pilots. I have to, I have to tell, I have to change, but still I'm level 4. Yeah, okay. Remember that there are many things there are many things in consideration. Example: how long is my answer? Is it appropriate? What about the language I'm using? So you have to remember that in terms of language here, okay, no mistakes. I have some linkers like in order to, also, for example. But it's not enough for level 5. Aqui nós temos uma resposta nível 4. Nível 4 alto, mas nível 4 ainda. Ok? Have to, simple present, não vou muito longe assim. Então, o que eu tenho que lembrar aqui, né? Variedade linguística. Uso o simple present aqui, coloco um have to aqui, e vou colocar coisinhas mais legais, mais complexas, para que eu possa chegar no nível 5, né? Antes de chegar lá, momento João Kleber, né? But just a moment, yeah? Before I get there, remember that when you're talking about responsibilities, né? Sometimes you talk about your responsibilities as a controller. Sometimes you talk about your responsibilities, the responsibilities of a supervisor. And then you're talking about a third person, okay? About a controller, it's you. So I, very easy. But if you're talking about the responsibilities of another person, like a supervisor, you have to remember there are 2 ways you can do that, okay? Example, repeat everybody. A supervisor has to check that everybody's doing a good job in order to avoid possible conflicts. They have to ensure that all the sectors are okay. So there are 2 ways you can talk about supervisor, for example. You can either go with he or she, and then you're using has to, and all the verbs using as, like I go, you go, he or she goes. I talk, you talk, he or she talks. Or you can change to they, and then you don't have to make any changes, yeah? This is for you to talk about responsibilities. Of course, it's just an example of language, because when you have to answer, you have to give a longer answer, all right? So have to ensure the same as guarantee, make sure, ensure. All right, but Elmer, how can I use some more complex language in this kind of answer? Well, you can use in charge of and responsible for. Oh, that's what I mean by level 5. You see, here we have a picture of a pilot. And I have the same question. What are the responsibilities of a pilot? Yeah? Repeat everybody. They are in charge of flying aircraft safely to their destination. Or they are responsible for flying aircraft safely to their destination. You see, in charge of, ing. Responsible for, ing. Why? Because I have a preposition. If you have a preposition, the verb comes in the ing form. You see, of, for, in, on. about, you're going to use ing. Yeah, and both expressions are going to be used after the verb to be. So now imagine, okay, I have this structure to include in my answer. Now I'm using some complex language for a level 5. Much better. So take a look at this. The very same answer. Listen and repeat, everybody. Every day, I talk to pilots in order to avoid conflicts. I'm in charge of giving them traffic and weather information. I also have to tell them if there is something wrong on their route. If there is turbulence, for example, I'm responsible for changing their flight level. So I'm giving exactly the same answer. But tell me in the chat, which answer did you like the best? The first one or this one? Number 1 or number 2? The second, this one, second one, the number 2, exactly. Why? I'm saying the same. You see, that's the difference between a level 4 and a level 5, because the level 4 answers the question. The level 5, besides answering the question, they do something else, okay? They also include some kind of complex language, like in charge of doing this, responsible for. Mind you that there is some kind of variety, even in this in charge of and then responsible for. I know there are 2 possibilities, but I'm using both just to show off, para me exibir mesmo, okay? And that's what we're going to learn to do in this course. How can I use complex language to have vocabulary level 5, structure level 5, okay? And also use some linkers that I'm going to be fluency level 5, because fluency, people think, fluency é você ser eloquente, falar bem, ter um ritmo legal, não pausar muito. Está correto, mas isso é apenas 50%. The other 50% are use of linkers. Uso de linkers. O que é linker, Elmer? Aqui, ó, in order to, if, for example, ou expressõezinhas como everyday. Mas aqui ainda tá simples, tá? Que o foco não é esse agora. Alright? That's the point. Okay? So now I have a question. What are your responsibilities as a controller? Well, first, we're gonna experiment with the language. Em vez de dar a frase completa por aí, please, a gente vai fazer só uma frasezinha para praticar primeiro, a gente vai só experimentar com a língua. Ou seja, vem um, fala uma frase, vem outro, fala outra, mas apenas frases por enquanto. Daqui a pouquinho a gente vai bolar a resposta inteira. Qual que é a brincadeira? Não repetir o verbo. Então, se a Raíza falou, I'm in charge of sequencing aircraft for landings and takeoffs. Aí a Geice não pode falar a mesma coisa, ela vai usar outro verbo. Qual que é o foco? Lembrar de usar in charge of e um verbo com ing. Mas não é a resposta inteira do please, é só uma frase. Pegaram a ideia? So let's go. Vamos passando a bola, tá? Daqui a pouquinho tem Big Brother, né? Aí segunda-feira é dia da discórdia. Aí vocês escolhem quem vai. É muito legal. Ok? Mas por enquanto não. Hoje ainda não. Vamos lá. Volunteers. Who would like to be the first one? Please raise your hands. Pedro, you can start.
As an air traffic controller, as a air traffic controller, I'm in charge of spacing the traffic.
Okay, spacing the traffic. Very good. Next, Tainara.
Hey guys. As an aircraft controller, I am responsible for. I'm responsible for checking flight levels according the route.
Very good. Checking. Good. Next volunteer. Tiziane?
Hello, teacher. I'm in charge of giving landing and takeoff clearance of helicopters and aircraft.
Good. Raíssa?
I'm in charge of providing weather and traffic information.
Good. Tiziane já foi? Não. Já foi.
Yes, I was before
Yeah.
Raisa.
Yes. The next one more volunteer. Let's go, Tuani.
Okay, I'll do it. I just got here. As a controller, I'm in charge of keeping the aircraft separated.
Okay, very good. Yeah. Keeping the traffic separated. Tuani Vieira.
Hi, teacher.
Hey.
Well, as an air traffic controller, I'm in charge of separating traffic safely.
Good, 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 good. Livia.
I'm in charge to. I'm
Oops,
in charge of separate
of-
military.
Deu uma falhadinha aí. Military traffic. Yeah. JC, please.
Hello, I as a traffic controller, I'm responsible for coordinating the traffic in my airspace.
Very good. And you see, guys, vocês já escolheram in charge of como mais bonita, né? Perceberam isso? You have already chosen. I mean, most people used in charge of. Responsible for is also a good idea. And depending on the answer, you can use both to show variety of language. You see? Very good job, guys. Very good job. So here we go. Repeat, everybody. I'm in charge of keeping aircraft safe in the sky. Variety of language, right? So here we go. I'm responsible for maintaining the aircraft safe in the sky. You see, we're talking about the same thing using different expressions, different vocabulary, like keeping aircraft, maintaining aircraft, and so on. All right? Now, just to keep practicing, I have one more question. Isso aqui não cai nem please não, tá? What are the responsibilities of a flight attendant? Volunteers. Tainara?
Today I'm a volunteer.
Yeah.
Okay. A flight attendant is in charge of offer snacks during the flight. Offering snacks during the flight.
Very good. JC?
A flight attendant is in charge of helping elder people and the ones that would need help.
Good, very good. Raíssa?
The flight attendant is in charge of guaranteeing the safety of all passengers on board.
Very good. Usually people forget about that. You know, okay, good job, good job. Pedro?
The flight attendant is in charge of making sure that everything is okay inside the cabin.
Very good. Make sure everything is okay. All right, guys, congratulations. You see, it's funny because in the other groups, you know, they talk about everything. Clean, serve, offer coffee, make coffee. They talk about everything and they forget about safety. Safety is the number one, but because they are, you know, kind of most of the time, thank God they are available. Oh, let's make some coffee, serve coffee, you know, and so on. Yeah, clean, yeah. There you go. Okay, guys, so you see, this is the kind of language we have to include when you're talking about responsibilities. One of them, all right? So now, listen and repeat, everybody. They are in charge of guaranteeing passenger safety. They're responsible for serving the passengers. You see? So no matter how weird it is, you have to include ing, guaranteeing. Yeah, because that's the rule. After prepositions, ing. Okay? So that's the point. Yeah? Let's do just one more. What are the responsibilities of a meteorologist? Volunteers. Do you guys remember how to say previsão do tempo? Pedro, you can start.
Meteorologist is responsible for providing weather reports.
Good. Tainara?
Sorry, I forgot. Let me think again.
Haha.
The meteorologists are responsible for giving controllers information about the weather in order to inform the pilot.
Good. Good job. Any other volunteer? Raíssa.
The meteorology is in charge of assessing the weather or climate.
Very good. Assess the weather. Yeah. By the way, guys, what is Raíssa talking about? Assess is the same as evaluate. Yeah. Assess the weather, evaluate the weather. Yeah. Check the weather. Yeah. Very good, guys. Very good. You see, so this is the idea. Well, this language is very important when you're talking about responsibilities in Please Part 1. Okay. So little by little, we learn stuff, we use stuff, and we ended up using the things we want when it comes to Please, you know. Here we have an example. Repeat, everybody. They are in charge of checking the weather forecast. Or weather conditions. Actually, ficou meio estranho check the weather forecast, because actually they are in charge of providing the weather forecast, right? Provide the weather forecast and then checking the weather conditions, yeah? Depois eu vou arrumar aqui. A pronúncia do forecast. Meteorologist. Guys, tem uma palavra que eu não sei falar devagar, que é meteorologist. 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 Eu não consigo falar devagar essa palavra, não consigo. Meteorologist. Assess. Assess. Okay? Assess. Good. So, there you go. Well, this is one, responsibilities. But remember that when you are doing an exam, they ask you in different ways. They can say, what do you do as a controller? What are your responsibilities as a controller? Could you describe your routine as a controller? Okay, how would you describe a typical day at work? How would you explain your job to a stranger? So there are many ways they can ask about the things you do, okay? No matter the way, that's what they wanted to do, to talk about the things you do, okay? Got it? There are different ways of asking the same thing, and there are different ways of saying the same thing. So providing language, you can show a variety of language and so on, and make it more beautiful. Another question that was very common, I don't know if they asked this question last time, but this question keeps coming back. The question is, what do you like the most about being a controller? Now it's very personal, okay? What do you like the most? The thing is, most people, when they are answering this question, the question is so basic that they end up answering in a basic way, and that's wrong, okay? Well, just because the question is basic, it doesn't mean the answer needs to be basic. Lembra, gente, que O nível 1 até o 6 fazem a mesma prova. Então, tem várias perguntas que vão ser fáceis. Cabe a você elaborar a resposta. Example. I really like working shifts because I can use the mornings to do my personal things. I enjoy talking to pilots and helping them fly safely. Ok, respondeu. Mas nível 4. Why? Like, can, enjoy. I mean, level 4. So how can I make this more interesting? Here we go. Listen and repeat, everybody. Well, I'm really keen on working shifts because I can use the mornings to do my personal things. I'm keen on talking to pilots and helping them fly safely. Okay, now imagine that you want to change this. Do my personal things. Ainda acho que não dá para melhorar isso aqui ainda um pouquinho mais. Vamos ver se vocês vão saber. To run my errands. What? Run my errands is like fazer meus corres. Do my things. Do my personal things. Now say again. I'm really keen on working shifts because I can use the mornings to run my errands. How about that? Did you like it? Can you see the difference? You see? So instead of saying like, don't like, dislike, hate, adore, love, you can use other things. For example, keen on. You're always verb to be. I'm, you are, she is, he is, they are. Keen on, ing. Elmer, por quê? Preposition, on. Sempre vai ter verbo com ing depois de preposição. Okay? So, when you're talking about likes and dislikes, okay, you can say, I love working shifts, I like working shifts. I'm keen on, much better. I don't mind, like, it's okay. If you speak Spanish, it's like, me da igual. You see? Run my errands, yeah, that's true. You see? I don't mind, like, it's okay. I don't like, I hate, yeah? This is the of how much you love, okay? But keen on, it's amazing. But Elmer, what about the negative? Because sometimes they continue. Is there anything you don't like about it? And then people say, well, I don't like working shifts because I can't relax on holidays. I hate working on Sundays because everybody's having fun and you are there working. Okay, again, level 4. What can I say? Well, you can go with, I'm not really keen on working shifts because I can relax. You see? But what about some variety of language? Yeah? So besides keen on, there are other expressions like this that you can use. Ó, hora do caderninho, gente. By the way, it's your first class today, right? Já comprou seu caderninho universitário? Não é brochurinha 50 páginas, não. É universitário 100, tá? Que é muito conteúdo. Depois você pode rever essa aula, ver a aula do grupo passado, ver o que eles disseram na aula e pegar mais conteúdo, né? Via de regra, um caderninho universitário dá, ok? Para 6 meses de curso. Mas tem pessoas que ultrapassam as 100 páginas. Se quiser garantir com 200 folhas, vale a pena também. All right? Caderno da Fábio. So, here we go. Keen on. What are the other things I can do? So, you can say, I'm not keen on working shifts. I can say that I'm not fond of working shifts. I can also say that I'm not into, well, I'm not into working shifts like this. I'm not into, chega lá. I'm not into working shifts, yeah? Then I also have, well, working shifts is not my thing. It's not my scene. And if you want to go British, it's not my cup of tea. So you see, you have to find different ways of saying the same thing. Everything here means I don't like working shifts. Pick one, choose one. You see? The thing is, when you're going for a level 5, you have to find ways of using some advanced language in your answers, okay? I'm not a fan of... Muito bom também, Raíssa. No Pedro, sorry, Pedro. É que eu li a querida Raíssa e as do Pedro. Okay, so yeah, I'm not a fan of working shifts, you see? You have to find ways of being more natural, more complex, than only saying, I like, I don't like, you see? And of course, guys, here I'm focusing on one sentence to show you the structure. But a good answer, I would say at least 2 things that I like, 2 things that I don't like. The perfect number, 3. 3 examples, okay? But sometimes you don't have 3 examples. In this case, you have like 2 parts. So 2 and 2 is 4. It's more than 3. Got it? Did you get my math? Yeah. You see? So the thing is, you have like many possibilities. You just have to make it more complex. All right? 3 examples is fine. Yeah. Mas quando tem tipo pros and cons, like and dislike, você pode colocar 2 e 2, que dá 4. Mais que 3. You see? Okay. So, many ways, many times when you're talking about, sometimes when you get nervous, okay? What can I do? You can use some hedging. O que é o hedging? Você pega uma frase ali, só para estender sua fala enquanto você pensa na resposta. Sabe quando você fica assim, ai meu Deus, isso aqui que eu falo? Você não pode ficar assim, né? O que você faz? Você pode usar expressões que são mais longas para pensar na resposta. Well, I like the fact that I can use the mornings to run my errands, you see? And another point is that I help pilots fly safely. Also, it's a dynamic job, so it's never boring. And finally, every day is different, so we don't have a routine, you see? These linkers are going to give you points for fluency, because 50% of fluency are the linkers, and also give you time to think about your answers, you see? I like the fact that another point is that, so this kind of language, by the way, I didn't write here in the slide, let me write it for you. Another point is that blah, 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 you see? So here we have like linkers to help you think about your answers and also give you points for fluency. You see, we need that. We want that. Okay. So here we go. The question about likes and dislikes, it's very common, but sometimes they change for pros and cons. Sometimes advantages and disadvantages. There are many ways of asking the same thing, because the pros and cons for you are the things you like and the things you don't like. The advantages and disadvantages, okay? So here we have an example. Before you actually start your answer, always make sure that you know what you're talking about. Well, on one hand, it's like, por lado, não existe on one side, ok? Por lado, já vi muito isso aí já. Não existe, okay? So, what do? Well, repeat everybody. On one hand, you have an exciting job. Every day is different, so it's never boring. Another point is that you work shifts, so you can solve your problems during the week. Like going to the doctor or to the bank. By the way, if I don't want to say solve your problems, you can say what? Chat or microphone. What can I say? Solve my problems. Remember? Very good, Tuani. Run my errands. You see? Vocabulary, linkers, everything needs to be taken into consideration. Very good, Pedro. Run my errands, yeah? And then you continue. But on the other hand, sometimes you have to work the night shift, and that can be tiring. You sometimes have to work on holidays and Sundays. Because of that, you miss some important celebrations. So what do we have here? I'm showing you the linkers, you see? On one hand, another point is, but on the other hand, and because of that, so these linkers help you organize your ideas better. They give you points for fluency, plus they give you time to think, yeah? Be careful, because sometimes people are so nervous that they mix it all up. Me, as an examiner, I don't know if the person's talking about the pros and the cons, because they're mixing it all up. And then I don't know what they're doing. So be careful, be organized, okay? It's much better. Pros and cons. You start with the pros and then you go for the cons. Why? Because you remember the order, pros and cons. Colocou os cons na frente, se esquece. Você atrapalha tudo. Pros and cons. Então vai lá, primeiro pros and then the cons. You see? There you go. So this is like some of the things we have when we're doing at least part 1. Of course, there's more. We're just focusing on the ones using the present. We're going to see the other parts, the other questions of part 1, where I need to use simple past, talk about the future, okay? But now we're going to do some practice together. Are you guys ready? Okay, by the way, guys, don't worry about being exposed. You only participate if you want to. Plus, I'm at work. No problem. Coloca aqui, não posso falar. Okay? If you're working at the moment, no problem. Just tell me and everything is okay. Via de regra, vou explicar em português. Nas aulas, tem vários momentos que a gente vai participar em pares, do breakout rooms, ok? Então, breakout rooms é uma salinha que você fica só você e o parceiro, ou no máximo 3 pessoas, e vocês fazem as atividades daquela aula. A gente vai lá vários momentos. É que hoje, como eu estou transmitindo, né, porque tinha algumas pessoas que estavam tipo, na dúvida, posso ser uma aula demonstrativa? Não. Então, o que a gente fez? Vamos colocar lá no YouTube, o pessoal vê ao longo de 24 horas, quem viu, viu, quem não viu, paciência, né? E, basicamente, é isso. E aí, o que acontece? Automaticamente, você consegue... hoje a gente deixa tudo para o final. Por quê? Porque eu vou parar a transmissão do YouTube, ok? Para que vocês possam praticar só entre a gente, e eu vou ficar indo de salinha em salinha. Como é que funciona? Vai lá, tem uma salinha, tá a Jace e a Raíssa. Aí eu vou lá, fico um pouquinho com elas, daqui a pouco eu vou lá para a sala do Pedro, com a Lívia, depois da Tainara, com a Raíza, e assim por diante. E aí, quando eu não tô lá, apareceu alguma dúvida, anota no papel, no caderninho, que quando você vier quando eu voltar, você me pergunta, ou quando eu chegar aqui todo mundo de novo, a gente vai lá e resolve as dúvidas, alright? Então agora vai ser a parte da prática, eu vou encerrar a transmissão no YouTube, para que vocês possam ficar mais à vontade e render horrores aí, ok? Agora, claro, você vai colocar tudo que a gente viu até agora em prática. Run my errands, on one hand, but on the other hand, e assim por diante. Combinado? Então, só um minutinho para a transmissão. Ok, pessoal da transmissão, é isso por enquanto. Agora a gente vai praticar mais uma meia hora de prática aqui, para ser todo mundo aqui arrasando da aula de hoje, ok? Então, transmissão